Hot 97, Drewski, I'm in the building with a legend, LL Cool J.
What's up?
Rock the Bell's going down in your hometown of Queens.
Yeah.
August 6th. We were just talking about how everyone that's involved is so excited about this show that they represent it like it's their own.
Well, it is.
Right.
It is. Well, first of all, there are some that, actually Rock the Bells as a company, I gave percentages of Rock the Bells as a company to certain artists. So, like
Crazy.
Cool DJ Herc owns a piece of Rock the Bells, and Grandmaster Caz, and Run DMC, and Salt and Pepper, and Big Daddy Kane, and Fab Five Freddy, and Roxanne Shante, and Risk, and Jonathan Mannion, the photographer,
Right.
and Eminem, and like these artists, some invested, some got a piece of equity, but the point is, I wanted to make sure that as we created this valuable thing with this culture, that our culture actually benefited from it. And we were having a conversation before we started rolling about why certain people are so invested in it. And we have to do that because you have to remember when I first started, there was no industry. They didn't even play rap music in the daytime.
Crazy.
On the radio. All right. You got 1 hour on the weekend, maybe. All right. So I've seen it go from 1 hour on the weekend to something since you've been born is just like the normal thing of just all day long. Right.
Right.
And so when we go hard, what we're setting up now with Rock the Bells, what we're setting up is 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years from now, this culture still being around, because when we look at the Beatles, they don't have to have a record on the charts to be viable. When you look at the Stones, they don't need a record on the charts to be viable. If we put ourselves in a position where our artists are only viable if they have a record on the charts, we're setting ourselves up for failure. That's a mistake, right?
But why do you think it's like that in our culture?
I think it's societal. I think that, hip-hop culture is a very young genre, first of all. So it's only going on 50 years old, right? I mean, 50 is old until somebody dies at 50. Then you say, damn, that's young. Right? So it's a really young genre. And when you look at the genre, people are just used to people coming and going and coming and going. And then we started, there's so many metaphors in our poetry, and we're so close to sports culture that we started comparing ourselves to athletes. And it's a completely different discipline. This is art. This is intellectual art. This is not, you don't need, your knees are not, this is a different skill set, right? So I think that, and then there's societal issues. Obviously, there's racial issues. There's the racial component to it. The majority of these artists are black and brown. So, there were major companies who just said, move them to the side, push them to the side, marginalize them, and they're not important. This is what I like, even though this guy ain't had a hit in 45 years, but because I like him, he's still a man. And that's okay. It's not wrong to say that, but let that be true for everybody, especially when they have fans who love them and grew up with them and embrace them. And it sets it up for the next generation of artists so that 20, 30 years from now, when their song is a classic or a timeless hit, they can keep doing their thing. So we have to, if we don't create the industry the way we want it, you know what I'm saying? It's like the lion writes his story, or else the hunter will write it for him.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? So that's how you got to move. You know what I mean? So this Rock the Bells thing is very necessary for that reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not a game. I did this because this is like absolutely needed for our culture. This is what we need.
Now, when you see the lineup, you can break down some of the artists like the Noris, the Fat Joes, but I want the young boys to understand you're invited to this too.
Of course they are. See, the thing about it is this. Look, you don't have to be a day one fan of this to come and get immersed in the vibes. Ain't nothing wrong with chopping it up with the OGs for a day.
Because you can learn a lot.
Of course you can. And enjoy, and you might find something you like. There's different kinds of musicality. You have a wide selection of different artists with different POVs. You want to come and see what it is. Like, there's a reason for myself. There's a reason why LL Cool J, who started in 1984, is sitting here right now talking to you. There's a reason for that. It's not like it just happened. So maybe there's something that goes on at this show that you should see because this dude, he obviously knows something, right? So
there's
maybe
something right.
Yeah, something's going on here. There's something in the water over here, right?
Maybe it's in Queens. There's something in Queens going to.
Well, something in that hip hop,
right?
So they should come check it out. So the young dudes, young, just people, every generation, aunts, uncles, youngsters, the whole family. If you love hip hop culture, this is an all day experience. Like I said, it's the food court, the Trill Mill food court. It's all the performances.
Shout out to Bun B.
Giant boom boxes, breakers. They're playing Salute the Sample. They're playing. It's like all kind of things going on out there. All kind of activations. It's gonna be an amazing day for people who love hip hop. Period.
And you could tell because the energy is just different around it, right? Because you have these festivals now, the Rolling Louds, where they target a certain audience.
Right.
When there is a legend, it's not like it's like a surprise, right? So have you done a Rolling Loud yet?
No.
Right.
No.
So and if you did, it would be more a surprise.
Right.
What
I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? Like you would LL just pop out.
Came out on somebody's
It wasn't.
set.
It was. You're right. What are your thoughts on that? Because it bothers me a little bit that they don't include certain artists.
I think they got the right to run their festival how they want.
Of course.
My response would be is that I'll just start Rock the Bells. You know what I'm saying?
So,
like my response is, I feel like you're right.
Because we don't want to separate it. We don't want to say
I don't want to. Yeah,
Rock the Bells is for this and
no. Rock the Bells is for timeless and classic hip hop. It's to elevate the entire culture. Eventually, there'll be some youngsters that'll hit that stage at some point. I'm open to it,
right?
And I'm not against. Like I wouldn't not perform at Rolling Loud. Like they've never called me. Right. Don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't. I'm not looking for a call either. But I also wouldn't not perform. But what I'm saying is, it just is what it is. I felt like this genre. A lot of those festivals really focus on whoever's in the charts or
who's hot right now.
In the moment, right now only. Period.
Right.
And to me, there's value in that, but there's also value in things that people love. During that pandemic, you found out what people really love, the music that they really love, the artists that they really love. You go back to what you really love. It's not only about being trendy. It's not only nothing wrong with the new acts. I'm very
Of course.
I like Nardo Wick. I can mess with that. I can go all the way from Nardo Wick to Lil Durk. You name it. I have no issues with that. I'm just saying, at the same time, what we're doing is elevating the culture so that it all can be presented at the high level. Because a lot of what those festivals do right is they present these artists in a great light. When you see it in the media, it looks great. You see it on social, the presentation is right. It looks fun.
The marketing is
great.
Right.
And that's the way these Rock the Bells artists need to be treated. And that's how I'm treating them. You know what I mean? And that's why there's so much excitement in the city. And that's why the energy is like it is. And that's why everybody's clamoring to go, because they know that it's sincere and they know it's from the heart. And they know they're going to get the real.
Right.
You're really going to get a chance to figure out, okay, so you say, okay, I love hip hop, but where did it come from? Who started what? Who did what? How did they do that?
And that's important.
Like, who are they? Like, wow, you saw Jadakiss, he went crazy on the verses. Okay, now, what's his live show like? Let me see that. You know what I mean? We hear about Busta. Okay, let's see Busta. Little kid, let's see these guys.
We getting Nori off the podcast chair, back on the stage.
Let's see Nori rock.
Right.
LL, I know him from hosting the Grammys, and he got the TV show, and my pops loves his show, and my mother loves him when he does the movies.
Right.
But wow, but his first love is music. Let me see what LL Cool J's concert is like. I've never seen that. I've heard about it, and I saw some songs on YouTube.
Right.
You know what I mean? But let me
experience it.
Let me experience it. Let me see what if the hype is real. Let me see what it's like. That's what this is an opportunity to be. You know what I mean? For those people like that. And those fans are very important too. This isn't just about only the people who already know. If you know, you know.
Exactly.
It's not only the if you know, you knows.
Right.
It's also the people that are like, hey, okay, talk to me. What is that? Why should I be interested? It's because you're gonna have fun, you're gonna get immersed in hip hop culture, and you're gonna leave more official than you came. It's just no way for you not to. There's no way for you not to leave more official than you came when it comes to hip hop culture. Because this is the epicenter. This is how it started. This is the beginning. This is it. You know what I'm saying? Like the owners of, like Grandmaster Cass started this thing, man.
Right.
You know, Mel and them. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the owners of Rock the Bell.
And I'm sure he'll be out there with his shirt off.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Mel.
See. Oh,
in
Mel?
his tank top.
You know Muscle Simmons. You know he ain't playing.
He's going to be out there in his tank top.
You know he ain't playing.
On top of the music.
Melly Cruz.
On top of the music, though, the food aspect, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Bun B, who just won like #1 burger in America.
Yeah.
Good Morning America. But like including that.
Yeah.
Once you step on that ground, you're surrounded by hip hop.
You no question about it. Like you said, you got. Did I tell you all the people? Did I say everybody? Yeah.
No.
So I'll tell you.
You told enough.
Yeah. I told enough. So we have the Trill Mill Food Court. It was an idea. It was curated. Bun B came with the idea.
Have you had a Trill Burger yet?
I haven't had one yet.
So
I can't
this Saturday
wait.
I'm
going in. I'm going stupid. I'm going stupid. So you got the Trill Mill Burgers, obviously. Right. You got E40 Goon with a Spoon out there. You're going to have Nas's Sweet Chick. You're going to have Jada Kiss Juice for Life, Ghostface Killer Coffee. You got the Mia X Whip Them Pots. I mean, this thing is going to be off the chain. It's going to be crazy, dog. Like the food court, the activations, the break dancing, the dance contest, the fun, you know, the energy. It's hip-hop. Hip-hop culture.
We don't even have to say no more. Rock the Bell, Saturday, August 6th, Queens, New York City, LL Cool J in the building.
Forest Hill Stadium. Let's get it.
We appreciate everything you do. You know what I'm saying? Even down to people like me to still be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? I'm at Hot 97. I'm sure for you, you know, the first time you heard your record on Hot 97, to still
heard my record. Drew, they came to me when they started the station. You know, I had a conversation.
And he's still here. Pay attention.
That's funny. Steve Smith, may he rest in peace.
Yes.
Steve came to me when they was putting Hot 97 together. This is when him and
This
Tracy
was just
Clarity.
an idea.
Yeah, it was just an idea. And they came, and I remember when they built it and they did all the billboards and everything, they did a masterful job. And they did a lot for hip-hop culture. Now, the one thing that I would say is that just you got BLS as a sister station. It's understandable, and I get that. And I know they want to be on brand. Just remember the value of the culture, and don't forget the value of it all. You know what I mean? Keep doing your thing. Keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
But just remember the value of it all. Don't forget the rest, because all of it matters. You know, the Dave Grohl fans need to understand that Eric Clapton is there, and and Mick is there, and Paul McCartney's there, and as you go down the line, you know what I mean? So let's just remember it all. Let's understand the continuity, cultural continuity.
Thank you.
Good stuff, Drew.
Thank you, LL.
Appreciate you.
We out.
One love.